Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej.
And I'm Benoit.
And welcome. So this is the finals, game 2, going the distance. Man, this was a long day.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the other games, go back and watch the last game because this is the last one. So.
Right. So Hany came up from losers brackets. Hany is on the right, playing Engineering the Future. And against on the left side is Alex and his Hayley deck. You can see the Hayley deck played before if you'd like to see it. We uploaded a video earlier, but Hany came up from the losers, beat RP really handedly too.
Really strong decks as well.
So now this is it. This is maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night. People are getting tired. I believe everyone was really hungry. There's a restaurant next door closing in about an hour, so we were on the clock. We have 2 decks, both of them kind of aiming for the mid to late game. I think
mid to late game for sure. HB can score pretty fast if you're playing fast advance and maybe a Caprice or something. So you can score a couple points early and then bring the game to late game with all your economic power. But Hayley is so good late game because you're installed and you're breaking for no credit because you have a stealth Hayley on the left side.
This day I saw 3 different kinds of HB decks. And the 3 variables were biotic labor, if you want to go for the fast advance, upgrades, you want to do Breaker Bay, and then asset economy versus just the burst transaction economy.
My deck was running a hedge fund and restructure and only the Adonis campaign. I was not playing the Eves, and my deck went pretty well.
Yeah, how'd you do in the regionals?
I managed to sneak in top 4 with my noise deck that was not my favorite, but the HB deck was super strong.
Perfect. So now off to play a lot of Edward Kim and Gagarin space.
Yeah, maybe with that super acrylic ID.
It's a nice ID. Wonderful. All right.
Okay, cool.
I believe we're off to a start. You can see in Hany's hand there, he has the Turing and an Ash and Adonis. That's pretty good.
Enigma as well, I saw.
Yeah,
pretty
so
good.
That's a good start.
Yep, not bad.
It looks like Alex is going to go for the mulligan. I think for Hayley, the 2 cards you want to see.
Proco, always.
Proco.
For sure.
Proco's good.
Yeah.
First turn, Proco, install it with daily casts, even if you want to credit up.
Yep.
Perhaps Personal Workshop. I think you run 3, so
just so you can draw and dump your cards on top of Personal Workshop, maybe.
Yeah, and we'll see if he gets something better. It looks like Hany's going to start it off. Ice,
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, ice.
Leaving HQ open. Yeah, we saw there was no agendas.
Yeah.
There is an Ash.
And you're also playing Hayley. You're not really scared of Vamp or Akon Siphon or anything like that.
All of the multi-access,
no?
All of the multi-access comes from hardware, which is going to take time to come out.
But if you see the deck list online, most of our Hayley decks don't play any events.
Yes.
You just want to play the card so you can double install per turn. So you don't want to have too many events and then resource and then hardware. So that's why we don't run any events.
So the Adonis was installed naked, and now the Turing is probably going to go on top of that.
Yeah.
And there's no sure gambles, no events in Hayley. So you're pretty sure that if they run that Adonis and trash it first turn, they're going to be put behind.
Yeah,
a couple,
4 clicks,
2 clicks too many.
3 credits?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty expensive.
That's rough. 2 SMCs and an RDI, that is something you're going to have to worry about. Eventually, the 1 ice on R&D is not going to hold out.
And even if you want to break the Turing, you need your diffractor out, and then you need the cloak to get the stealth credit. So it's pretty expensive to go trash that Adonis.
Right.
And then we see the power of HB with upgrades. So 1 upgrade down already, and another ice, which is a pretty good, strong start for HB.
So in these HB decks, you generally want to build a really strong server.
Yep.
And the good thing is the server is always going to be useful. If you're not scoring, you can put in assets in there. Have the Eve take away for the 6 or 7 turns. Adonis is always
usually
making
you're
money.
trying to get Adonis on your scoring server between 2 agendas and start another server for Eve campaign if you play them.
Right. So another upgrade.
Yeah. As the runner, you probably think at that point might be an Ash and a Caprice. So, that server is going to get crazy.
Or even a Breaker Bay.
Yep.
Also good, a hedge fund that's some good transaction economy. The difference in credits is getting really large.
Yep.
Proco is now on the table, so constantly there's going to be at least 2 to 3 credit gain every turn.
And a couple cards.
Yes.
And then you want to double install
That
or
is
host on your personal
pretty
workshop.
good.
Yep.
The Montreal Shaper turn is Proco.
Yeah, Proco.
And then install. It's
Yeah.
slow, but man, it's efficient.
Yeah. In Kate and Hayley.
Yes.
Hayley, you gain the click. Kate, you have the economic power and maybe a more early pressure.
Right.
Hayley is really into the late game.
I think Hany walked across the room to get a bottle of water.
Cool.
Yes, it is the middle of summer. It's really warm in this room. And there's another RDI down on the personal workshop.
Everything down.
Followed by a cloak.
Yeah.
So having one cloak turns on almost all the stealth breakers.
Almost.
USMC for a stealth breaker, and then perhaps you could play another cloak from hand if you have it.
Or if you have 2 Ghost Runners, you can start by installing both Ghost Runners, and then when you run, you can install other things you need.
Right. Yeah, so this is looking good. I think as much as Hayley doesn't have that much money, it's that threat is coming.
Yeah, the upgrades are scariest now.
Right.
So if it's an Ash or a Caprice, you get in and you're out. So it's pretty good. So we're probably going to see Hany trying to score something or maybe do something else after his last Adonis money. Because you want to score an agenda as soon as you can against Hayley. Because if you bring the game to late game, it's going to be pretty bad for you. So.
And at that point, you're going to start having to split your upgrades between R&D and your scoring server. And Turing falls apart to stealth.
Yeah.
At some point, your scoring server is not going to be as secure as you once expected.
Yeah.
So that Adonis is fired off. I mean, it is emptied. And install advance.
Advance.
So that could be an 8BD.
And advance again.
Oh,
that
double
could
advance.
be anything. That could be a 5-3 now. A couple HB, they play 5-3s.
Yep.
Like my deck played 2-5-3 because with Caprice and Sansan, it's so good. You can biotic labor your agenda or anything.
So we have an Akamatsu came out with that R&D interface. So multi-axis
during
is
the
online.
Corp's turn, which is...
I think that was off of Proco.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not Proco, the workshop.
Personal workshop. During the Corp's turn.
I don't know.
Yeah, because he taps his Hayley every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so.
So that's a really good use of efficiency. There is a lot of money at this time. Maybe I would want HB. I would want to force the HB to res something.
Maybe on R&D, and it also gives you information for later on.
Yeah.
So.
At worst, if it's an architect, you can fetch something. Best case, it's an Eli, something like that, something that just slows you down. But it looks like we're going to put on a personal workshop, an Astrolabe, and a cache.
So the games we've seen from Alex, most of the time the Corp scores an agenda before, and then he takes the advantage later on.
You're right. He's okay with sometimes losing a couple. That is an over-advanced Vitruvius, just one counter. Recursion is a thing HB does really well.
Yeah.
And when people started playing certain... like, for instance, Caprice, the ability to return a trashed Caprice not only is incredibly strong, but a bit demoralizing.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the overscored Vitruvius is completely, really, really strong.
Yeah. I've seen DN, like, install and then just biotic just for the over advance. It's really good.
So install advance again in that
putting more
server.
pressure. Yeah,
it's 22 credits, 4 credits with the daily cast and the cache perhaps coming out. That number might be a bit bigger, but I don't know. You can't compete with Ash at this point, so not much you can do. The cache is coming out with another cache. That is a nice burst of money.
Yep.
Hopefully the Aesop shows up at some point soon. And you're going to see if Alex is going to try and threaten that remote.
Yeah, maybe. Or draw and gain 1.
Proco is still good?
Yeah.
Because, you need at least 2 breakers.
Yeah, it's really difficult because if there's upgrades there, even if you run, you're just maybe losing time and your investment. So he's going to put pressure on R&D instead.
Just an Enigma.
Yeah.
I believe his decoder of choice is a Refractor.
Which has 2 strength, so you don't even need the stealth credit to boost his strength.
So that's coming out.
Yeah.
2 caches are trashed. And I believe Cloak is coming out right after that from the workshop. you're going to be able to break that for 1 credit and see if he pays for the R&D interface. He's thinking about it. It looks like 3 credits is enough for another access. All right, so you got 3 cards off the top.
And the first agenda for...
one Vitruvius.
Hayley.
I believe Alex put that agenda down on top of Hany's.
Yeah.
Haney was thankful for that, but it looks like he moved that across.
Cool. So as HB, do you leave your R&D open at that point or score your agenda? Oof.
Oh, he's going back again.
More.
I wouldn't. I would put some ice up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if he uses that SMC.
Your remote is safe.
It's completely safe.
Like, it's probably safe. So.
With Ash, it's totally safe.
But the 2 SMCs are going to go through many ice.
So, generally, Turing is put on central. Unless you're dealing with it. On the remote server.
Yeah, on remote.
And as much as possible, I like just running into that at some point. They spend 4 credits for an end to run. It's pretty good for the runner, knowing what that is. It looks like it's going to be an ice.
Cool. So it was only a 1 advance to score, not
That's
a 5-3, so it's perfect.
I really like the ability, just in practice, putting an agenda and advancing it in an irregular way.
Yeah.
It makes the runner play completely differently, and you can use that for your advantage.
It's really good to be out of the just fast advance and everyone scoring out of end.
Yeah.
And that's so fun.
Yes, it adds a lot. I like it. We got a cloak there on the personal workshop.
Yep.
More stealth credits, always good, and we're going to poke that R&D again. That's an Eli.
Yeah. Do you get your lady, probably?
You could click through it. I'm not actually sure if he has the clicks. Lady is going to have to come out at some point.
You also gain more MUs if you get rid of one self-modifying code, but no, he's going to bounce and install host other things in personal workshop.
So the only clumsy shaper problem happens when you run and then you think you're going to SMC your lady and then you realize it's in your grip.
Yep, but Hayley is so good against that. Yeah,
Hayley, you just have to push that cloak out from the workshop and you can get that. You can get your lady from hand.
Also your clot. When your clot is in end and someone tries to fast advance.
Oh yeah.
Yep, you can install it by installing your cloak.
I think that it might be better to keep the clot in hand because people won't expect it.
Yep.
And perhaps they'll miss it. They'll say install advance, and then you have to slow them down, which does get awkward.
Yeah.
But
when you have no self-modifying code on the board and a clone chip with no clot in archive, they're going to go, oh, I can score my fast advance. But no, because you have your cloak and you get cloak out of personal workshop and drop clot from your end, which is really nice to do.
So that's a double install, a personal workshop and the pawn shop. Would you use 2 personal workshops?
No, he's going to sell it into ASAP. It's just to credit for no click, basically, if he had nothing else to install.
Right. It's because the problem with personal workshop is you have to keep feeding it. Otherwise, things might come out at times you don't want them. If you don't have enough MU, if that clot gets forced out at some point.
Yeah, that's why the R&D interface is pretty good on personal workshop at that point. Because he still has 2 turns to install to host one thing in the personal workshop.
So the daily cast is going to be pawned to the shop. And Hayley's just going to keep on building.
That's a strange flavor. You can pawn shop a daily cast, which is pretty cool.
It's interesting. It's the box set of your... No, I don't know what you do. Looks like we're going to hit R&D.
Yep. That's his window there. He needs to put pressure on R&D because Hayley's all about the R&D interface, and you need to hammer that R&D and get in for cheap. But the problem with engineering the future is you get credit every time you install, so getting 4 ice deep on R&D is pretty good. So
it looks like that is going to be a cloak installed. Probably, there you go, the lady coming from hand.
Yep.
So lady is the most efficient way, probably, I think, to break an Eli.
Yeah, but it has a number of fixed counters, so you need to Ricker it at some point, which can be annoying.
So the cloaks are going to help boost the lady to strength and 2 counters. Yep. And then an Enigma will be dealt with for just 1 or 2 credits, but there's an Ash on that server, and that's going to be rezzed.
Yeah.
Now, Ash is unique, so if you want to, perhaps if there's one on the central, you can, on the remote, you can deal with that. It's a base trace 4, boosted up to 6.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No link on Hayley. Nope. See if Alex is going to match. Looks like he is. Trace 6.
Yeah, he gets in for pretty cheap with the 2 cloaks, so he doesn't need that many credits, so he can actually spend the money, but he wouldn't have enough to trash the Ash, which is pretty annoying.
No, I think Hany thought that as well.
Yep.
But there is Ghost Runner credits.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And I think that's something that is often missed.
Yep.
So hey, Pyrrhec, 3 points.
So cool.
Pretty good.
Trashes a Caprice as well, which is pretty interesting. And the Ash.
Yes, and the Ghost Runner credits are, you can use that for trashing, you can use that for scoring NAPD, anything during a run, and I think that's often missed. So back to the Proco, you're at game point now. That's a really good spot to be at, especially with 2, potentially 3 R&D interfaces. Now, he did have the choice of installing the 3rd R&D interface before accessing. I'm not sure if he decided against it or forgot, but that actually would have been a big deal.
But because of the money and the trays from Ash?
It would have stopped him from accessing anything. So Memchip coming out soon. He is tight on memory, so that's going to be
so right now, we have to keep track of the counter as well on Vitruvius. So maybe get your Caprice back from Archive, put it down on R&D, and then stop the problem there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could even get Ash back, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I'd rather have Caprice than R&D,
almost
though.
Always.
Yep.
HQ, there's been absolutely no pressure.
No.
New remotes, so there is an Astrolabe draw. I think... Oh, another Ice on R&D. And the trash of the Enigma. I think...
Enigma was pretty useless at that point. Well, it cost only 1 credit if it's your last run, so last click.
So I think if Hany is drawing agendas, he will put them in the safest spot is the remote. So maybe not running HQ is okay.
Yep.
And it looks like he's going to run that. That's a triple Eli server. Ooh.
Lady counters.
Only so many.
And then he's going to click through the last one, I believe.
And he's not installing his R&D interface. I don't know if that was a choice or not.
He doesn't have enough money, that's why. Oh,
no,
yeah, it only costs 1.
If he runs into a NAPD, he'll be upset. So nothing there?
Yep.
Looks like ice and perhaps other stuff that he didn't or couldn't trash. That's what I found, and this is really, really good play. I think the biggest, one of the strongest things you can do in terms of ice to fight Shaper is stack barriers.
Yeah.
Just put all the barriers in a row. Eventually, they're going to be able to... They're going to run out of counters.
And also, that Naked Eve is so expensive to trash unless you get your imp out. Yes. So, it's pretty interesting, yeah.
Yeah, this was not Res of the Breaker Bay. This was also not put in the scoring remote.
Yeah.
So that either means that there is an agenda in there already.
Yeah, or you don't want to take the space for that long.
So perhaps there's something in HQ. Perhaps you're just planning for the future.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just kind of a way that you want the runner to run on it and spend 5 credits.
Spend credits and clicks as well, so to bring his attention somewhere else.
Oh, there we
go. And
go.
then he scores the extra bit of that.
And it looks like that's not going to be fired either. So game point, both sides, 6-5.
Oof.
And we're in the game state in which Hayley is legitimately scary.
Oh yeah, really scary.
And perhaps fast advance. We haven't seen any fast advance. That could be an option though. We can't rule that out. So that chip is going to come out. Something.
Do you think that's why he keeps his self-modifying code just to get the clot in case there is a fast advance?
That would be very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yep. Did he just installed the clone chip that turn, which is exactly what he needs to bring the lady back. He does know the next 3, maybe 2 cards of R&D.
Yeah, maybe.
So you don't have to put pressure exactly this turn. See what you do at this point.
I think Alex is not in such a good spot. It's not bad, but it's really hard to decide where to put pressure or where to try to run. He's going to bring back the lady.
So lady's coming back?
Yeah,
I think he's running again.
Are you going to use 3 counters for 1 run? It's pretty expensive. No, he's going to click through 1 and then use 2 counters.
Right, but he's going to install the next RDI.
Yep.
He has 1 credit. Hopefully no NAPD in there.
First card.
So that's Jackson. That's going to stay. Breaker Bay. That's good. Can't see that. And
no game point. Nothing there.
I think he really thought that was game.
Yeah, maybe.
He went all in. He's down at 1 credit. Professional contacts.
Only 2 counters on lady.
Yeah.
He only used 1 clone chip though, so he can still look for another clone chip and then access more. The power of HB entering the future with that many pieces of ice.
And that Eve is still ticking away, so money's going to happen regardless. This is actually the lowest amount of credits that HB's been at all game.
Yep. probably.
So this seems like it would be your window, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much you can do.
I know. Get the imp out and maybe imp the Eve earlier, but
Yes.
then you leave pressure of R&D and give time for HB to maybe do something different.
Right. You do have a couple turns of R&D being clean.
Yep.
And you also know what's coming up. You know,
Yeah.
it's a Breaker Bay. You know, that's probably a Jackson Howard on table.
All that time, no access on HQ. Do you think
Yes.
there's something hidden there?
There could be.
Ooh.
Even
knows?
at this point, with 3 credits, perhaps you want to run the remote.
Maybe.
Get rid of Ash. Get rid of that other
Yeah,
stuff.
costs you too much to res Caprice, play the game, so
Yeah. That could be
good
all right.
point. Yeah.
Still is a Vitruvius counter. You could emergency hedge fund.
Yep.
If you really needed to, I would probably save that for a Caprice or something fun. And we got Personal Workshop and Fall Guy.
Mm-hmm.
So against a corporation which doesn't tag, probably not running Snatch and Grab, you can just sell the Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Somehow that gets sold to a pawn shop.
Pawn shop?
Yeah.
Somehow?
Yeah, somehow. Cash also comes out, so that's
Yeah.
more pawn shop money.
Yeah.
And this is the resilience. Like, he's already back up to 6 credits, potentially 9. Well, 10 now, if he uses the pawn shop.
Yeah, it's
pretty good.
really weird when
Yeah.
you're not playing any sure gambles. You don't need to float 5 credits just in case you draw your sure gamble.
Right.
So that's why you can go lower and then get back in the money pretty quickly by selling your cash and installing cash. So 10 credits to 8 credit right now. So is he setting up for another run for the game on R&D?
Could
Maybe.
be. Yeah.
Maybe.
I might consider trashing the Eve.
Something was installed in that remote, so that's pretty interesting.
Was it
upgrades
installed
there.
over, or is it just something on top?
No, just installed.
Could have been the Breaker Bay.
Could be anything.
Yeah, that's probably true. So we're still missing a Sentry Breaker.
Yep, you're right.
So maybe that's holding him back. There is a new ice on R&D installed a couple turns ago. That could be a Sentry Breaker. That would a Sentry. I mean, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy if that was a barrier. That would be really silly.
Stacking 4 barriers
Oh,
just to
that's
force
rough.
Lady.
Yes.
Yeah, if he's not playing any... Oh, there you go. Corroder
it's
in
Corroder.
the archive.
Yes.
So he's confident that Lady is going to hold what he needs.
Or that he's able to pull that Corroder back. Spending 4 credits for Eli with the Corroder is not
Pretty expensive.
sustainable.
Yep, you're right.
That was a Jackson. It looks like we're going to be drawing for something. And Enhanced Login Protocol.
Cool.
Man, is that a good card?
Yep. It's especially good in RP, but we've seen a couple
Yes.
HB play it, and it's pretty efficient.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
They're at game point. So no matter what, this is going to be a crucial card.
Yep.
If you played early game, it could fizzle relatively soon. This card is going to matter until the game is over, which
Yep.
is incredibly good.
I think as the runner right now, you're looking for that one run
Yes.
that lets you access one agenda and win the game and close the books.
Right. Clicking through Eli, however, just became a bit more of a
So expensive.
And hey, 4 barriers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's either really expensive with Corroder or just takes too many of your lady counters.
Yeah. You
He's
can
gonna
imagine.
use a counter.
You can imagine there is an
and
admin in his
then
deck.
He's gonna. What is he doing?
He's looking for his possibilities.
Yeah.
There must be an admin in his deck. Admin at 4, SMC.
Admin at 4 would be best.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's what you need at this
Yeah.
point.
So he's gonna spend
SMC is
your
coming
SMC.
out. And here,
yeah.
there's the admin.
Yep.
Admin 4 is an expensive ordeal, especially through the SMC. That's
Yeah.
about 9 credits or something like that.
Yeah, but when it's installed, it's so cheap to break Eli's.
It's good. It's 6 for that server.
Admin at 4 against HB is so good.
Yes.
There's so many eyes. Even if you don't run any data suckers, Admin is good at 4.
So he's going to be able to break through all of that, I believe. He does have 2 credits left. Hany is thinking about the Jackson.
Yeah, maybe remove adding cards that are not agendas, but he's
looks
gonna
like
go
we're
for
going
it.
for it. And this could be game right
This
here.
is really stressful. This is no, he trashes something, but it's not an agenda.
I think they're thinking about it. No, I don't think he decided to trash that card.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just reminding about the enhanced login protocol.
So
That
he
took 2
lost-
clicks.
Yep. He's also not playing any cards that let him
No,
run.
no
so
run events
It's always
whatsoever.
gonna be 2 clicks.
Yes, and no currents on it in his deck either. And it looks like we're going to return to our professional context, and that clot is coming out. So now, as long as there's 2 credits, as long as Alex has 2 credits,
Yep.
you cannot buy Odic for the win.
Unless
Oh,
you have
yes.
the CVS. It's the
CVS
only
is a
option.
card. that would stop that.
Or the runner doesn't install his clot, and then you do something different, like shipment from Sansan or
Right.
anything.
Yes, you can. There's some nice ways to get around that.
Trick of Flight works as well.
Right. We have another ice, a fifth ice, in fact, on R&D. The Fall Guy is being sold to a shop.
That's perfect.
Yes.
So cool.
And so, you got another. This is great. After you access R&D,
Four cards.
Yeah, but you have a couple turns
Yep.
to just sit back and keep just checking out your
And good to
professional
mention,
contacts.
no HQ run all game long.
So far, nothing.
0 HQ run.
And no one's touching that server.
Nope.
You're pretty sure there's a Breaker Bay in there. Probably
Caprice, Ash.
Probably Ash.
We still have that counter on Project Vitruvius,
Yes,
so you can
very
get
much.
anything out of his archive.
So even trashing something,
interesting.
yeah.
Yep.
It really sets you back if you spend a lot of money to trash something.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we have a clone chip on the workshop, so the Croter is now a thing. SMC we could pull back. We might have memory issues. We have another remote, so that's Astrolabe. And it's something installed on top of that. And another remote. Hey, so Astrolabe.
Yep.
I think Hany said here he was trying to minimize the Proco draw by flooding the Astrolabe.
Yep.
Which is actually really interesting.
Cool.
It will speed up his board state, but it will slow him down on money, and money seems to be like a limiting factor at this point.
But Hayley also installs two things at
Yes,
once.
so it's not
having
you're
many
not going to
cards.
flood grip. Double clone chip.
Yeah,
that's
there
nice.
you go.
And 2 off of the daily cast. All right, do you check those remotes?
Do you check R&D now? Is that your turn? Oh, it's so difficult.
Could one of those remotes be a 3-pointer?
It's
I mean, a
game
2-pointer.
point.
Could that be game?
Are you risking it as the Corp?
don't
I
know.
wouldn't.
I
Yeah,
would.
it's
I
a
think I might.
pretty difficult time.
Because you also have to spend 2 clicks
Yep.
to run it. It's not like you check it if it's an Eve. Because you can assume that's probably the the one with the upgrade.
Yeah, the one with 2 cards.
It's probably a Breaker Bay and Adonis, but could be Breaker Bay and an agenda?
Or, yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll see what he decides to do. Looks like he might flex his professional context. Oh, perhaps not. Just seeing how big his deck is. And, well, there we go. Not many cards left. Everything is out.
Yep, only one run, though. Only one agenda, and it's over.
Yes.
So
It's not that big of a deal.
he doesn't check
There's
at
definitely no
R&D now.
Levi in this deck.
No, I don't
Once
think
he's
so.
at the
No
end, he's
event.
at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's also set up, like all the cards are on the board, so what else do you need? You just need to access agendas at that point.
Right. So we have a
Yep.
cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. The dagger.
So he's not checking R&D this turn. So, Vitruvius is using his counter,
Get the Caprice back. That's always good.
Yeah.
I imagine that
with 10
Caprice
credit.
is going to go in R&D. And
There you go.
so, okay,
Adonis
that
for
was
free.
not the really good bluff that I hoped it was. Just the free Adonis.
Yeah, just the free
Also
Adonis.
good.
Yep.
Man, an altered Adonis is lovely. I imagine the Caprice is going to go on R&D.
Yeah, for sure. Because if you're looking to draw your agenda, you need to stop like
R&D
the R&D
access.
accesses.
Yeah.
So you need to put Caprice there. Yeah, there we go.
So probably Caprice there.
Yep.
You get a credit for that because HB is efficient. He drew a CVS.
Ooh.
That's good.
Oh, interesting.
That's always
But,
good.
Like
And there's a
drawing at
biotic.
that
There's
point.
a biotic.
Drawing at that point was pretty cool, but also pretty risky. But you still have the click to install if it's an agenda in your remote.
Yeah.
So I believe.
Well, he Jackson double drew as
Yep.
well. Yeah.
Yep.
So at the end of the turn, I think we're gonna clone chip for a cash and then pawn shop the cash. That's a slick way to make 5 credits
Pretty
for
good.
no click, and you can install from hand too. I don't
Yep.
think he is though. All right, take that exile. 2 credits off daily casts,
Yep.
and things are slowly clicking down.
So if the agenda is in the remote, it's game. So what are you checking? Are you checking R&D or the remote? Ugh, pretty difficult choices. He's going to go
it's
for the remote.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 2 clicks. He might have enough to go on the R&D again.
He
so
might.
maybe forces the Caprice and...
Double Caprice.
Yeah, double Caprice. So they kill each other. And then there's no more Caprice on the remote. So let's see.
So 4 cards in there. Let's see the first piece of ice. What we got? Hey, during. Can't click through that. Gonna
Nope.
have to deal with that. It's 5 strength, so that's only 1 boost from the refractor, plus 3 for 1 stealth credit. Break for 1, not too bad at all. And again, boost, 1 break.
Yep.
And let's see what we got res. Caprice should have been res already, so it looks
If
like
he wants to res a Caprice,
yeah. So that's not happening. Breaker Bay. Ooh, Caprice. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So
I guess they're okay with that.
yeah, most players are good
Yeah.
good sportsmen and be like, oh, I broke too soon. If you want to go back and not break, you could.
Yeah. I have no
But,
doubt you
yeah.
have that. So we got a Caprice game. 12 credit stake credits. It could be anything. 0, 1, 2. What do you do? I would go 1. That's my call.
As the Corp or
almost always
runner,
go-
both
runner, I
side?
go 1.
You go
Corp, I
1?
go 2.
Whatever, you go 1?
Yeah.
Corp, you go 2?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
get down to
0
6.
to 2.
0 and 2, good.
Now, Corp, you definitely go 2.
Yeah.
Money is not a problem at this point. And that's going to be thrown out of that server. That's 2 clicks just to run on that. And you spend a bit of money, but man.
Next run is only 1 click though, so you can go somewhere else.
Yeah, and that could be game if there's an agenda in there.
If that's an agenda, do you go again? He goes for R&D.
R&D?
Yep.
5 barriers. That is rough.
Yep.
Lady just can't put up with that anymore. You're going to have to get that Croder out. How often do you see Croder with Lady? I don't. I only see Lady. Usually that's enough.
Yeah.
An Inti maybe? No,
But
probably not.
you see the power of stacking barriers. So
Yes.
the Corroders have really nice influence in the Hayley deck, I
That's
think.
really well played.
Yep.
I like that a lot. 5 barriers. Jeez.
That's crazy.
Oh,
That's so
wow,
good.
that's
it's
fantastic.
a perfect mix of ice. You no mix of ice.
There's
That's
not a
all you
mix of
need.
ice,
That's
yeah.
all you need.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, man. And
Stacking code gate against criminal is usually the way.
Yes.
While stacking barriers against shaper is super strong.
Yeah.
So he has to go for it. So
Yeah,
now if
cleanse
he
up the
installs
Croder.
the clot and the clot gets trashed, that's it. There's no more clot. So
Yes.
the fast advance could be something if the clot is trashed when installed.
But he's not going to trash it. He has enough to push out slowly.
Yeah.
That server is going to cost some money. 3 plus 6. Oh, we got a new Caprice. So the old Caprice was trashed.
Yeah, it's dead.
It doesn't matter because he can't run back on that server this turn. And we're playing another game. Mm-hmm. Again, oh, wow. Not a lot of money.
No, cost him...
I think Corp has to go too. Because you're going to get 5 from your assets. I would do all my money.
Yeah, but if the runner knows that you're going to go 2, then maybe...
So far, Alex has not bet any money.
he's-
He's only bumped 0. He's going to do
Yep.
0-1 at this time. I have no doubt. He's probably not going to go 2.
He's getting short on critic as well.
Yep,
Hey,
0.
there you go. Perfect.
And
Good
there you
call.
go. It's thrown
Good
out.
call. Yeah, he still has 1 click remaining. 1 click remaining. So
Right.
he went 2 for the remote and then 1 on R&D, and he goes back in the remote. So now there's no
Yes,
more
it's
Caprice
interesting.
there.
So maybe he played around that.
So is it an agenda? What is he gonna do? Ooh,
Yeah, I don't know.
He
I think
still has
there's an Ash in
spell
there, which
credit.
you can res for free on the Breaker Bay. Mm-hmm. We'll see what else is in there. Yeah, that's a free
There's
Ash.
the Ash.
So you're going to have to pay at least 4 more
Yep.
credits, arguably maybe 5 credits. Mm-hmm. So we got a
Trace
Trace
4.
4,
You have 1 more.
not boosted.
No, okay.
And let's see, that's
He
going to
goes
be
4.
Trace 4. That's going
Doesn't
to fire off.
have doesn't have any credit remaining.
No credits to access, and that's a CVS.
That's it.
So nothing to do with that. Can't trash the Ash, but you know that's not game. Now, that CVS can be resed for free.
Yep.
And if your fast advance answer is Clot, you have to trash that CVS.
Yep.
Otherwise, Biotic Labor was going to win you a game.
Yep. But you don't have any credit to trash, but you still had the Ghost Runner at 1.
He did
So
have the credit
he-
to trash it.
He could have used the Ghost Runner.
Yeah.
And now HB is at 6 credit. So
Yes.
resing a CVS for 0, and maybe you have the Biotic.
You could win.
You could win.
Yeah. I'm adjusting the camera a bit up. It's a nicer angle up here, I have no doubt. Let's see what Andy's going to do. He still has money coming in. That Eve should be trashed.
Looks like he's trying to install another ice there.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Another ice on the remote. Yeah, okay.
Cost him 2, gain 1 back.
So is he trying to protect that CVS?
Probably at that point.
Yeah, I think you need to.
Or the Ash, just to put an agenda down at some point and try to score that agenda by having more credit than the runner.
'Cause
I
he has
mean, the
3
runner deck is exhausted, so
The pawn shop is always good. I think he's going to pawn that lady.
yeah, probably.
But, yeah, he has 3 pointers and he has 2 pointers. So at any point in time with that CVS, you can fast advance a 2-pointer, but he needs to find it.
Yeah, and the also the Biotic Labor.
He has it in hand.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we've seen
So
that.
only the agenda. Only
Yes.
a 3-2 would be enough.
But what's the density? I'm not sure the density in this deck.
Ooh,
Whether
yep.
this, because there's some HB decks that run mostly 3s. The fact that he's running the priority requisition means that he's probably running a bunch of other 3s.
Maybe just 2 more.
Yeah,
or
2
one
more.
more.
Yeah,
We don't know.
I
Some
think-
player prefer priority rec to the shard.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We have a run on HQ, nothing being rezzed. That's another CVS.
Interesting.
Oh, 2 CVS. Okay,
Yep.
so that's good. So maybe he's not protecting it. That one is going to be trash.
Yeah, because if you have to double biotic, you could install the CVS and then fast advance an agenda
Right.
if you have enough credit to
Yep.
do it, which is pretty cool.
Run again. I don't think anything was seen. I think you ran HQ again.
Yep.
And we're going to put out an imp. Hey, that's what you need. You need to find that biotic. You need to get rid of that biotic. So HQ pressure is now a thing. I think Hany should be reacting to that. He understands biotic is probably his way out. Because late game, the remote isn't safe.
The remote is it's not safe. Even if you find a Caprice and the runner runs your remote and you res Caprice, then your
Then
R&D is
done,
open.
yeah.
And R&D run with 4 cards. Oh, that's bad when the runner only needs 1 agenda.
So we're going to install in that server. Daily cast gets pawned away. What's installed in that server? Ugh.
Ooh.
You got to run. You have to run it.
Yep. You have to check it.
He doesn't have the money to beat Ash, so I'm not sure what's going to happen.
But if the Corp pays everything for Ash and you
he has
trash
to
it,
pay for this ice too.
yep.
Looks
You
like
can-
no res, so we're going to go through that for, I
stealth.
think, 2 stealth.
And 2 credits.
Probably. He could go 3 stealth.
Yep.
I don't think he will. I think it's
No,
going to
it's
be 2 stealth, 2
safe to
credits.
yeah.
Because you have to go back.
Mhm.
We gonna... What's going to happen? Nothing else being rezzed.
How much is the trace?
All right.
Ooh, there you go. So trace
Trace
is gonna
4?
be 4.
And he's going to boost
7.
it up to 7.
Okay, cool. So now the runner
So he still has...
doesn't have enough money to pay, so he's gonna trash that Ash.
Yeah, Ash is going to be trashed, but nothing else can be accessed.
Nope.
So that's okay. He could run back into that server if
He's
he
gonna
would
check
like.
archive just in case. Maybe some agendas were thrown in.
I don't think he's
earlier.
going to check archive. I think perhaps Eric just wanted to see what was in archives.
Okay, cool. And also Jackson is still in
Jackson
play,
is totally
so-
on the board, yeah.
Yep.
Also, what is that last remote? Another Jackson?
Yeah, maybe or just an Eve, just to force the runner to click and
Perhaps,
go check.
yes.
But never res it because it's 5 and it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to keep procoing. I think there's only 1 card left in his stack. Professional Context has done a lot of work. I think
Yep.
he drew the majority of his deck. He's going to run back. Going to use the Ghost Runner. Going to break everything else and access. What do we have there? We have, Jackson. That's safe.
Yep.
Second Jackson. And the other card is a CVS. You have a credit. You can trash it if you like. No trash.
No, doesn't
Ooh.
matter. He's like, maybe he's tired or something.
No, that seems like that card would be important.
Yep.
Biotic is now live. Jackson's going to draw. I think this is the window that he's looking for. He just needs a 2-pointer.
Yeah, a 3-2 is perfect if
3-2
he
will
has
do
the
it.
biotic.
I don't
And
think-
he still has the CVS, so...
And we're going to hedge fund just for
Yep.
a bit more money. All right,
So
so
at that point, if you're the runner, you might want to go and try to win the game against Caprice on R&D and maybe access an agenda. It's
he
1
doesn't
in
have the
3.
money to break
Yeah, right now.
5 barriers.
Yeah.
I think you go
It's
for
too
HQ and
expensive.
try to imp a Biotic. I think you need to.
Yep.
So things are going to be sold. Hey,
Proco.
I believe there was
Thank you, Proco. But
Yeah, you just have
goodbye.
to sell 'em.
It's good enough.
I think
So you gain your money back from installing it on turn number 3, I believe.
right. I think Jerome hassled him a bit for selling that before using the last card
Yeah.
for perfect efficiency.
Perfect efficiency.
But hey, an Eve res for free with the Breaker Bay is going to take the imp. So imp can only be used once a turn.
Yeah.
So now if a Biotic is an HQ and he accesses it, it is going to stay there.
Yep.
And it looks like he's going to run. What do we got there? First, ice is, I think it's an
If you don't have any agenda in your end,
Yeah, you don't
are
have to
you...
res.
Yeah?
Well, maybe he
Well,
has an
use
agenda.
the stealth counter.
So he probably
Force
does
the
have,
install of Dagger.
Yep, Dagger has to come out.
Yeah.
2 stealth.
And then next turn means that the clock gets in play and the Corp can trash it and there's no more clone chip.
Right.
So you wouldn't even need your CVS if you want to fast advance.
Yeah. So I think he probably has an agenda in hand. I think he's ready. So Architect is going to be broken. Remember, this run, or actually the Eve run, did take 2 clicks because of that wonderful current. He's going to trash the Imp. I think he might have been over memory. Yeah, to install the dagger, he was over memory. He's going to continue as the autofocus fights against us.
It's tired.
Yeah, I know.
It's too late.
It's a long day. And an Axis, it's another Architect.
And that's it.
So them could be game?
Yep. One of the thing about Hayley is that you don't have any multi-access for HQ, which is pretty difficult.
And we have an Akamatsu, so that
just to protect the plot
is going to stay there for one more turn, which is interesting.
Yep, but there you go, CVS.
And hey, Biotic Labor with the CVS res for free into the Vitruvius.
Ooh.
That is 8 points, and that is game.
Yep.
Wow, well played, Hany. That was a wonderful barrier play on R&D. That is absolutely fantastic. And Hany is going to take the Montreal, the second regionals in Montreal. Really well played from both of these guys. Came all the way in from Ottawa.
Good play by both players.
Fantastic decks. Very, very resilient, strong decks. Very well played.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Hey, thank you for following a bit of this regionals that we had out of Montreal. Yeah, that was some really well-played games. Thanks so much for watching. Do stay tuned in the future. There will be some more Netrunner content coming out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.